Hello folks, Hargos here, and it is time for another Blossom guide. Today I will be doing a raid rotation guide for you. I wanted to do some preparation for the raid that's coming out next week, and I thought I'd share my recommendations. I have a little bit of different format for us today. I do have an Excel sheet, just a quick one to show us what that raid rotation looks like. For those visual reading learners, and then there's also some videos following each of those to give you a good look at what those look like. There will be chapters in the description, so you can jump to whichever one you would like. But let's jump to the Excel sheet so I can show you how this is broken down. All right, so first we have our pre-pool, which is mainly built around building up some essence bursts. Then we have our major cooldowns, standard rotation. I have two videos there for the standard rotation with and without stasis. I wanted to do so just in case we wanted to save the stasis for any particular burst damage, or if we want to just do it off cooldown. I gave you an example what that would also look like. And then last but not least, we have tank cooldowns and defensive available to us, which for evokers, I think we have a good list here for us to use to help out the raid team. So let's talk about pre-pool. Again, this is just to build some essence burst going into the fight if there's any damage coming out directly after the pull. So first we have reversion, which is a heal over time. You can put this on yourself or tank. It doesn't really matter which. You're mainly looking for the essence burst. The healing that is not significant. Then resonating sphere, which you can sit on for a little bit for those echoes. You can cast living flame to get those essence bursts prior to the pool. And then last but not least, you have your Vernal Embrace and Dream Breath. Now this is situational, I say here, because if there is a situation like there was on the Queen Ansarek, where you may want to save this, there's going to be some big burst damage coming out fairly quickly, you might save this for those situations. And so you can go into an engulf ramp right away for those big initial burst damage that may occur. So what does this look like? Pre-pull, reversion, temporal anomaly, living flame for those essence bursts, burn embrace, dream breath, and then so let's say they pulled, you can cast your blossoms, and then engulf even if there's a reason to do so right after the pull. All right, so next we have our major cooldowns. Rewind. My biggest point I want to say here is we should use this for the biggest burst damage possible. So if all the burst damage is equivalent relatively, you should be using this first to get this off cooldown as quickly as possible. So you can use this repeatedly throughout a fight. This should be the biggest cooldown you have available. I've had situations where I've used this just once during a fight, and it's at least 15% of my healing. So I'd recommend using this for the biggest burst damage, or for using it first out of your major cooldowns. And then stasis, going into 11-1, you should be using a Vernal Embrace, stasis, dream breath, engulf. That will give you the maximum amount of healing for stasis. And that's a fairly short cooldown, so a minute and a half. So you should be getting this up fairly quickly. And just for those wondering, you should be able to do stasis, dream breath, engulf, and then cast at least one more engulf before stasis comes back up. And then also, so we have dream flight. This isn't my favorite major cooldown that we have, but it is very useful in stacked fights. You may change this if you're not in a stacked fight to something a little more useful, which let me give you a good example what I might switch that to. I might switch this to in time of need, so if you're spread out, it will save someone's life about every minute. So that can be helpful in situations where you are spread out, where Dream Flight, which is an uncapped heal, is mainly used for stacked fights. Okay. So what do those look like? Major cooldowns, this rewind right there, that's what that looks like. And then again, the stasis, so Vernal Embrace, stasis, dream breath, engulf, and engulf. You can use this right away This will get you your Dream Breath and Fire Breath back very quickly, as they reduce your cooldown by 6 seconds each time you use Engulf. And then that was your Dream Flight there. Okay, and then your standard rotation. This will look like a Flame Breath, Living Flame for your Essence Burst procs. Cast Blossom with your Essence Burst prio. So standard Essence you would probably not want to use on Blossoms unless the healing is needed, because you may have some mana issues if you don't primarily use Blossom for your Essence Bursts. So be watchful of your mana if you're using standard Essence. And then Verdant Embrace, Dream Breath, Engulf. So I have it in this order because Engulf reduces the cooldown of Flame Breath and Dream Breath. So doing in this order, you'll be able to get Flame Breath quicker and Dream Breath quicker, of course. And then going into Resonating Sphere and Living Flame for Essence Burst. Resonating Sphere has a very short cooldown. And then casting Blossoms off any Essence Burst you have from that. And then Spirit Bloom, I have this in here. This can be a good heal, so I usually attach this to Tip the Scale so you can cast this instantly at max rank. So that can save a lot of people's lives very quickly. And then this also, with our talent choice Flow State, will reduce the cooldown, or will increase your cooldown recovery by 10%. So making sure we have a rotation of Dream Breath, Flame Breath, and our Spirit Bloom will ensure we have the shortest cooldown possible for Engulfs that we want to use as much as possible. So what that looks like in practice. So here's our standard rotation. We have Flame Breath, Living Flame, Essence Burst, so I cast the Blossom, Burn Embrace, Dream Flight, Dream Breath, Engulf off that, Resonating Sphere, Living Flame, Essence Burst, casting Blossoms. So this happened very quickly here, so Spirit Bloom, and then going back into it based off what's off cooldown. Just farming for those Essence Bursts. Living Flame does a lot of healing as well. Got 2 there. And now I see Verdant Embrace and Dream Breath available with an Engulf to reduce cooldown, so you get Resonating Sphere back very quickly and Flame Breath back very quickly. Okay, so let's also look like what this may look like with Stasis. So Fire Breath, Living Flame, Essence Burst, Burn Embrace, Dream Breath, Engulf. So I threw in my Stasis there, so I have it available to use whenever I want. I'm holding on to it until I cast Fire Breath again, and Dream Breath again. And I can get those back off cooldown. You can see that I almost got Fire Breath back. And it's just rinse and repeat from there. Okay, go back to here. So we have our tank cooldowns and defensive we want to be able to use. So we have time dilation that spreads out the damage the tank takes. So anytime the tank takes a big hit, which in this raid there is actually a hit called the big hit, that would be good usage here. So that would just spread out the duration of that damage they take. So instead of a single hit, it gets spread out over multiple seconds. Renewing Blaze. So we can apply this to the tank at 50% effectiveness. We get 100% effectiveness. This is great for dots that they may be taking, or if they need to run off into Narnia or something. This would be a great time to use Renewing Blaze. That way they get the 100% of that, or 50% of that healed back to them. And then Zephyr, this is great for area effects. So I know there's some lightning effects in the next raid, so make sure you use Zephyr in that situation. Then Obsidian Scale, so we have 2 charges of this. I usually make sure I always have Obsidian Scale and Renewed Blaze going for major burst damage, so that way we have Mastery effective as much as possible. And so that really builds out what our raid rotation toolkit looks like. I'm looking forward to 11.1. I hope you are too. Please leave a comment if there's any suggestions on the rotation that I have here, and I appreciate that discourse. So thank you for listening, and enjoy my outro.